Oh, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back again with another interesting Jay Slater video. I hope every single one of you are doing well. I want to look at Jay Slater's last ping location, because if Jay Slater actually sent his screenshots at the location where his phone last pinged, then there's a number of questions that need to be answered. A number of questions need to be answered based on Jay Slater's last ping location. It would only make sense that it was at the location of where he sent his screenshots from, because both screenshots point to the same location. We've got the Snapchat and we've got the WhatsApp. So let's quickly take a closer look at this ping location. Okay, cool, here we are. So I want you guys to forget what it says here, Jay Slater, bow and phone theory. Forget that. We're only here to look at the location. And this video is going to show us exactly where Jay's phone last pinged. So here we go. Let's just pause it right there. That little green dot where my mouse is on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly where Jay's phone last pinged. That means that's where Jay would have sent his screenshots to Lucy, Brandon, Brad, whoever it is. Now, it doesn't make any sense to me at this point how Brad would have said that Jay went down some little bit. It wasn't that much of a big drop, just some little drop. Because at this point of where Jay's phone last pinged, we assume at this point, this is where Jay's phone died. So what little drop was Brad referring to? The only drop Brad could have been referring to is Jay coming off the road. So you see where it says phone last ping location, you see you can still see the road there. That's the only little tiny drop that Jay could have come off in which Brad is referring to. Can't be any other drop if this is his last pinged location. Now that's the only way what Brad says makes sense. But the simple fact that he says, if he was anything like me, he wouldn't have went all the way down there. I mean, at this point, you have to ask yourself, down where? Because we've been on this path before, ladies and gentlemen. As you go past the viewpoint down this road, there's a little bit here where my mouse is, which allows you to come off road. There's no dropping down a little bit. There's no putting yourself into a dangerous position where you might injure yourself. No, there's an easily accessible entrance to the path right here where you see my mouse, which means anyone, including Jay, for the sake of their narrative, could have just gone to that bit and walked onto this path. Anyone. 4 of them could have done it. 5 of them could have done it. They could have brought the whole car down this path. Remember, the car fits down this path as well. You can drive a car along this path. But right here, ladies and gentlemen, where this little green dot is on the screen, that is where Jay's phone last pinged, which means that's where Jay would have sent his locations to Lucy, Brad, and Brandon. If we go back to what Abe said to the lady when he first told his story, he said that the friends had Jay's location and he was on a path about half an hour behind his. He mentioned half an hour. Again, who else has mentioned half an hour? Brandon, Lucy. The 3 people that I've told you have come together to corroborate this story. See, the thing is, Brandon and Lucy both mentioned that Jay told them he had been walking for half an hour. Abe claims when he told his story that Jay was on a path about half an hour behind his gap. And that's really specific. 30 minutes, not 40 minutes, not an hour, not 20 minutes, 15 minutes, not just down the road, 30 minutes. He mentioned 30 minutes, Lucy mentions 30 minutes, and so does Brandon. But no one else mentions 30 minutes, no one. But based on the facts that we have from the inquest, ladies and gentlemen, Jay would have left the Airbnb, and this is based on Jay's phone data, the phone coordinates that they have been able to receive, told them that Jay left the Airbnb at 7:47. As we've just said, Lucy and Brandon both confirmed that when they spoke to Jay, he said that he had been walking for about half an hour. Chris Tenerife also walked from the Airbnb up until the viewpoint. He said it took him about half an hour. Remember that it said that Lucy, Brad, and Brandon must have, at 8:30, spoken to Jay. See, I don't know what's happened with the 8:50. But it seems that through the inquest, the whole 8:50 spill's just gone out the window. The time frame for Brad and Josh is now 7:30, and the time frame for Lucy and more or less Brandon is 8:30. Okay, for the sake of the inquest, we're going to go with those times. Although we know they've lied, they've given us different times before. For the sake of the inquest, we're going with those times. So Jay sent 2 screenshot locations, the WhatsApp and the Snapchat, and this is exactly where he was at that time, which means, as I said earlier, this is exactly where his phone must have died. Now, at this point, you have to ask yourself, if Jay was actually there, why would he not just turn back and walk back? It's literally just there. You can see the road from where Jay is. He's not covered by bush. He's not covered by trees. It's clear as day at this point of the path. So at this point, you have to ask yourself, why didn't Jay just turn back and walk back up the path? Again, like, why wouldn't Jay have just walked back at this point? He's right next to the road. But instead, rather than walking back, Jay continues to walk. Now, you have to say at this point, this has to be also where Jay must have fell the first time. Because we're being told Jay was lying in a ditch, caught by a cactus, and felt like he was going to die. If that is true, ladies and gentlemen, the only place it could be is in this type of area where you can see my mouse moving. Again, it's where he would have come off the road. If he didn't come off the road up here where my mouse is, where it's easy just to get onto the path, it's built for you to walk onto the path, designed for you just to walk onto the path up here. But if he decided to climb down this little bit here, then it is possible he could have been cut by a cactus. It is then possible he could have been sitting there calling them, saying that he feels some type of way. Lying in the ditch feeling like I'm going to die in this location is a bit of an over-exaggeration. How could you be lying in a ditch, cut by a cactus, telling Lucy you're going to die in this location, like this area right here? Warren, Zach, the whole team walked along this path. So again, I don't understand how it would be possible for Jay to have been cut by a cactus, lying in a ditch, telling someone that he felt like he was going to die. To me, it makes sense that the whole cactus story, telling Lucy he was going to die, it was made up. And the reason why I say it's all made up is because let's think about it logically. If Jay's just come off the road and he's in this area where he's not in danger because there's no edges, he's not falling off a cliff, he's not in an area where it's deemed dangerous at this point. Let's be real, we've seen this area on camera multiple times. We've followed this path ourselves. Warren followed this path. Everybody has followed this path. Chris Tenerife has followed this path. We've even watched videos of hikers follow this same path. These are hikers that have got nothing to do with Jay Slater. They're just uploading their own massacre videos onto YouTube and they're following this same path. Some of them are taking their dogs with them. We've seen this path. We know at the point of where Jay's phone last pinged, it's not as dangerous as they've made out. So if Jay would have been at this location, physically at this location, and he would have sent 2 different screenshots, one via Snapchat, one via WhatsApp, it means that he was pleading for help. It means he wanted someone to come and rescue him. Based on the story that Lucy gave us, she made it look like Jay was desperate. But the only problem I have with that is their actions tell me different, because they did not go to the ping location of where Jay was at. They didn't go there until the night. Later on that day, we're talking 12 hours later. And it's like it's an emergency when she tells her side of the story. But there was no urgency to get to an easy, accessible location like where Jay's phone last pinged. Unless you're telling me you're the ones that went there and put the phone there, or you're the ones that went there and took the screenshots. Never made sense for Jay to have been in this type of location and not just walk back. Again, let's deal with the facts. One of the facts that we've been given is that it took Jay 3.5 hours to get to his point of destination. 3.5 hours. So if it only takes you half an hour or just over half an hour to get to where his phone last pinged, what's the excuse for Jay continuing to walk after allegedly being injured? Or what's the excuse for not going to that location to help him? But not only that, ladies and gentlemen, according to the Dutch team, it was only for the last hour of Jay's walk whereby he would have had to walk through the treacherous terrain. The last hour of the 3.5-hour walk that Jay took, it was only the last hour of that walk whereby he had to walk through dangerous terrain. When you strip this story back and you look at the ping location and you listen to their stories and their narrative, it clearly tells you one thing. They didn't want to help him. They didn't want to save him, which means what? He couldn't have been there alive asking to be rescued. He couldn't have been there. Otherwise, they would have went there. Why was Brad not searching for Jay? Why was he not searching for Jay? Because he obviously already knew what happened. Why would Jay send screenshots of his location? 2 different versions of screenshots. Not just forward the location to the person he wants to forward the location to. No. Jay wants to send screenshots. Jay sending screenshots of his location in a desperate situation, according to Lucy. And although he sends the location of where he's at, he decides to leave that location and continue to walk for 2+ hours before he falls to his death. Make that make sense? Are you telling me Jay never believed in his friends? He didn't believe his friends were going to come and rescue him? Come on, make it make sense. Why would someone send their location, 2 different versions of the location, pleading for help, but then decide after sending those ping locations, he's just going to get up and continue walking? He's not going to go back the way he came, although his pinged location shows us that he wasn't too far from the road. No, 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 he's not going to do that. He's going to continue walking on this path. He's going to get to a point where he's going to see dangerous terrain and he's going to walk through it. This treacherous ravine, he is going to walk through it. He isn't thinking twice. At this moment in time, Jay's wearing shorts and a t-shirt and he thinks he's He-Man. Absolute nonsense, BS, and more BS. They went to this location where his phone last pinged. Whoever it was, they took screenshots of that location. It just makes no sense to me, ladies and gentlemen, whatsoever. And the reason it doesn't make any sense, ladies and gentlemen, is because Jay wasn't there. I don't believe Jay was at the Airbnb consciously. If that was Jay in the back of the car, one thing I do know for sure is Ayub taking the picture. We've got him confirming that he was taking pictures of Jay smiling his face off in the back of the car. That is the only picture that has surfaced, and that's the picture where Jay claims he is en route to sell the AP. Not the Rolex, the AP. And he's with 2 Somali kids this time. 2 Somali kids. So clearly the manipulation had taken place. The cover-up had taken place at that point. And it means whatever happened to Jay had already happened. All right, we're going to leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. A very, very quick one, but I'm going to be recording something else in regards to Jay Slater and some things that I want to share with you. So make sure you guys go nowhere. Make sure you hit the like button. Do subscribe to the channel if we're newly watching. We've got plenty other content uploading. Go and check out our mysterious, disturbing, and creepy content. There's going to be a lot of that being uploaded, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you're sharing those videos, hitting the like button on those videos, but most importantly, leaving your comments down below. I need to know exactly what you guys are thinking. So leave all your thoughts and comments down below. Make sure you hit that like button, turn your notification bells on so you don't miss out on future videos. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.